Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
Tents don't blow away because the wind is starting to pick up.
Yep. Well, that'll be great on live, on a podcast.
Hey, we may lose one of these canopies. There it goes.
Oh, boy.
I knew that was going to happen.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Live? Yeah, you're live, Irma. Welcome. What's up, Irma? How you doing? We got you. Hey, we're tapped into your computer there too, where you work. We can actually see you on video. I hacked your computer. So beautiful earrings today, Irma. You're always beautiful. Very nice.
You're so silly.
We're here. We are live.
Again.
What does that do exactly?
I don't know. It just felt kind of good.
Okay.
It's like a little. Welcome in. I don't know if our comment thing's working this morning. We had a IT glitch right at the beginning.
I didn't cause it.
Rick threw his cup. He threw his cup at us. We have that cup tilted at the right angle where one word doesn't show up there at the end. So that's good, Rick. So it's not a bad cup. It's pretty funny, though. So there we go. Lisa's on. Comments are coming in. I was worried because when it crashed, I was like, man, we had to reset it. I had to reset everything. And Kaye over here, we were all joyful. We were so happy because you know what, Kaye? You know why we were joyful and happy?
Because you were going to start on time.
We were on time, and and everything was good.
Yeah, and suddenly your computer just...
And you saw it.
I saw it.
You saw
blank.
it. It just went...
And I didn't touch it.
Kaye didn't touch it. She didn't even look at it.
That little mushroom cloud came up from it. It was really strange.
But we are here. We're live, and we're rocking and rolling. 7:37 as we get started here on a beautiful Wacky Wednesday. So is it wonderful or Wacky Wednesday?
I don't know. I think it's kind of wonderfully wacky.
Wonderfully wacky is the new terminology. So, hey, welcome in, Huntsville. Do us a favor. Hit like and share if you're on the social media feeds this morning. And let us know that you're out there as we always work hard to uplift and inspire our community. We're so grateful to be here in Huntsville. We are here. It is a Wednesday, and we do call it the Wonderful Wednesday, brought to you by our great friends at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, episode number 217. Big thank you as we get started to Elliot Herzlich of Elliot's Jewelers online at elliotsjewelers.com, and also Paul Oley of The Gallery for helping to provide this space. And as I just mentioned, we would not be able to be here without our good friends, our great friends, Rick and Kaye Boehning from Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. They are the educational experts for the little ones as they get started in life. And I'm excited. March 1st, our little Caden gets to start seeing you guys too. So, we've been taking him out to a friend of ours, and with Bridget's job and the time and all that kind of stuff, we felt that it was a good time to make that adjustment and finally get him over there to you guys. So now we'll have both of the babies over at Tomorrow's
three.
Promise.
I'll be there.
Rick will be there, so we'll have all three of them. I haven't really claimed Rick yet, though, so it's only two.
Wow.
I don't say all three.
It's a wonderful tax write-off.
Yeah, Rick is.
I am. I have a lot of hobbies.
So we're thankful, though. We're really looking forward to it, and we're so excited to have Caden. We'll talk a little bit today about yesterday. We had such a fun day with HLI, the Huntsville Leadership Institute, Class 42, getting to go around. It was Education Day. It was right up your alley, Kaye.
Yeah, it was a great day.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of different things. We went over to, we got the day started with Dr. White over at Wiesner. So she was there. That's where we always meet at Wiesner.
Well, she's going to be on the show next month.
She will. She's signed up. She's going to be here on Wednesday. Kaye, by the way, is taking all the good guests. So
she does that.
Kaye gets everyone.
Not that none of them are bad.
She gets like the A-listers. Is that what you call it? Like the A-list on the show?
Well, she knows a lot of people.
Or gold double A list is what we call it. No, everybody that comes on the show by the way, is on the gold double A.
Very interesting.
So everybody is an A-lister here on Good Morning Hunts, except me. Y'all are A-listers. I'm like a Z-list.
I'm a B-list. She's A-list.
I'm a K-list.
That's true. She was a K-list.
How many letters is K from the alphabet? Take a guess without counting. Ready, go. How many? What do you think?
11.
11? Kaye, what do you
15.
think? 15. All right, here we go. Did you do it real quick,
No.
Kaye? A, B, C, D. I didn't want to start singing the song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K.
I wonder if I was right.
11. You said 11.
Yeah, because I know J was 10.
You knew that?
Yeah.
Man, who knows this kind of stuff off the top of their head? The only one I know is A and Z. And B and X.
That would be
B
A.
and Y.
1 and 26.
Yeah, that's the only one that I know. If you told me what letter of the alphabet is C, I could probably say 3. But then I think starting with D is where I would start to have to count it in my head. Maybe Y I could say is 25. X is 24.
Yeah, I should have known better than to come up with a different number than what he would say.
Is there a way of teaching that, do you think? Does anybody teach that? Is there any like type of, this would be a Lisa Branch question too for learning RX, but is there any type of like brain power to knowing what number the letter of the alphabet is?
If you've read the encyclopedias like I have, You pretty much know.
Do you ever remember getting in trouble when you get in trouble? I got in trouble. So everybody got in trouble at school once in a while.
I never got in trouble at school.
I'm sure you did, Rick. I remember getting in trouble, and a teacher in the English class made me read the dictionary. I mean, that's like an educational reward, but it was boring. I just remember sitting there and they had the massive, they were hard-covered, massive dictionaries.
So what letter did you make it to?
Like 2 pages through A. I mean, there was, 70 pages just for the letter A alone. And I'm sitting there thinking, and there's so many words in the English language that I know basic words. But when you start using words like, I think the word like exacerbate is probably the biggest that I like. Don't exacerbate the situation. Is that the right usage of that word? So that's probably as advanced as I get.
Make it worse.
Yeah, that's as advanced in the dictionary that I get probably is right there. I just don't know of. There's a lot of work. My dad is a scholar. Dad, if you're listening, I love you, Dad. My dad is the scholar at all of these words I've never heard of. And I don't know where he comes up with them. And when I was a child, I'd go look him up. Like, did he just make that up? And it was a legitimate word. And I feel like as time has went on, the English language has gotten lazy.
I'm actually surprised you didn't learn some of the vocabulary he was using.
Well, back then, Lisa's helping me over at Learning RX, but I still didn't. Even back then, I didn't remember stuff. In fact, when we were going through Huntsville ISD yesterday, I was scared because I dream at least once a month that I never graduated high school. And it literally brought back I'm not making light of PTSD because there's people in the military that are, but I mean, for me, it brought back some high school PTSD.
I used to have that dream too.
I've never had that dream.
That I had to go back and finish high school, even though they found some class I didn't finish, and I had to go back and finish high school, even though I had a master's degree.
That must be a dream intelligent people have.
Well, I'm definitely not intelligent, so I don't know where it came from for me, but I think I know what spurred, and I had it again here recently, and I think I know what it was as I'm looking at some online classes, just taking some little online classes for ministry stuff, and I was looking, and they sent me a copy of my high school transcript. I didn't take the SAT. That's the joy. Here's the encouragement this morning, people. If you've been out of high school maybe 5 years, I think you can jump.
50.
Yeah, I think you can jump, or 50, like me. I'm going on 25, and I'm finally decided, hey, maybe I'm going to take some little extra courses. You qualify as something called a non-traditional student. And so ACT, no problem. SAT, no problem. You don't have to worry about all that stuff.
Oh, good, because I can't remember how to do algebra anymore.
I wouldn't know any of that. So you just apply, and I think they still do go off your GPA, but there's also what do they call it? Is it holistic? Is that the right word? Mm-hmm. So there's a holistic approach that these colleges take too. So even if you had a mediocre GPA, mine was below average. I was good in school. I was great. No, I'm just going to brag just a bit. I don't want to brag on myself, but I was excellent in school until I got into 9th grade. And then there was this little switch in my head that's I hate to say it, I don't want to sound depressing, but it's I didn't care anymore.
It's called puberty.
Well, I wanted out. I knew what I wanted to do already. And when I was 9 years old, I was I want to get into the computer business. And I was just so focused on that I was just done with school. And I talked to a counselor, and she tried to talk me out of it. And I said, no, I know what I want to do. I want to get out of here. At ninth grade, I said, I know I need to finish, but I said, put me on the minimum graduation plan so I can just get out of here and get started. Because I knew technology was at the cusp of blowing up. And my marketing teacher in high school told me, and I can say it now because she's retired. She told me to never repeat it because she'd get fired because educators aren't supposed to do this. But she told me, she pulled me aside and said, start your business right now as soon as you can. Because she said, this technology stuff is happening now. And she goes, and you know enough about it to do it now. And she encouraged me. I was thankful because as an educator, she gave me the information that she felt was best for me, not what the state of Texas told her to tell children, which, what is it nowadays? I'm not knocking it, but, what does that do? And so I listened to her and I took it to heart, and she helped me on that path. And so by the time I got later on in high school, I didn't take an extra foreign language. I didn't take advanced math. In fact, I took math modeling, whatever that is. Still know the teacher, Miss Richmond, Carol Richmond, became a great friend of mine as I got out of high school. I enjoyed chatting with Miss Richmond, got to know her very well. And, I took math modeling. I didn't take like Algebra 2 or whatever it was. Geometry, I failed miserably in high school. I had to take it twice. And I looked, that transcript showed up, Rick, for this class that I'm doing because I had to get a copy of it, right? So we're going back like 25 years. I get a copy of the transcript, and it brought back those memories, man. And I dreamed it the other night that I didn't graduate high school. And did you know, can you take a guess? There's our good friend right there walking by, Mr. Smither walking by today. Can you take a guess of what, don't look at it from like a 0 to a 4. Just take a guess of what my high school GPA was. You know, when you get to the they put it into a group, but I'm talking like 0 to 100. What do you think it was, Rick? And I'll tell you,
you said it's 0 to 4.
Well, that's the colleges look at it like 0 to 4, but on the high school, on your high school thing, it says your cumulative GPA, and it's actually a 0 to 100. So what do you think it was?
I have no
and it's below average. I'm going to tell you that.
I don't know what average is.
What would you say, Kaye?
Average is 70, so I'd say 68.
Well, then I'm above average. I feel great then. My overall average of everything was like an 82.7.
Oh, that's not bad.
Out of
Yeah,
6.
because my high school, 93 and above was an A. But most schools, it's 90 and above. So that's a B average. That's not average. C's average.
But here's the deal. And Jamie Salas had a good guess, 76. I don't know what the average is. I just know on mine, like according to what I was reading online, that was like right below the average. So I guess it was like 83, 84, I don't know. But my GPA was it's like a 2.7.
Yeah, well.
Because they group it. They group it. Like if you take that 82 point whatever, there's a grouping that I said, well, okay, my high school GPA is this. What is it in a collegiate GPA? However they do all that stuff. And it was like a 2.7. Well, most universities, I mean, great. And we got a good university. Sam Houston's so good here. I mean, their approach is get them in the door and let's teach them and set them out. And I forgot what Dr. White said yesterday, but I love a couple of the quotes that she said that a student had came up with. Oh, it was like, which door do you want to walk through? I think was one of the quotes.
Whatever door you knock on, somebody will help you.
That's right. Yeah. Whatever door you knock on, someone's going to be there to open it and help you. And I love that. That was a quote from a student about Sam Houston State. But yeah, so I was looking at some of these ministry schools that you can take online. I was like, ooh, yikes, man, will they give me a holistic approach to this and like give me the benefit of the doubt, please? Because, some of them are like 2.8 and higher to get into. But then it says, but there are exclusions for a holistic approach, and I guess they factor in a lot of different other things. So.
And you've got life experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got lots of life experience. Well, got lots of life, not that much experience.
Or I got a lot
of
of
shareable though.
Yeah, probably not.
Or Kyle's already saying you forgot a quote from yesterday. Yeah, man.
That's okay.
I didn't go to Learning RX last week. I'm going this week. So Lisa, get ready for me. I'm coming today at 3. That's when I go. I almost forgot when I show up. Lisa, I'll be there today.
What if they have a call system for the people that, it's like call to remind you to come?
They need that. They probably do. You know what's crazy? I'll put stuff in a calendar, but then I forget to go back to the calendar and look at it, and then I'll look, and I'm like, man, like the pancake supper the other night.
Yeah.
Missed it.
What?
Just got busy.
We were there.
I wish we would have went. How were the pancakes?
They were delicious.
The sausage?
She ate mine, but it looked good.
Wait, did you go, did they have bacon?
No, they had sausage.
Did you go sausage, though, or?
They didn't have bacon, or I would have had bacon.
But did you have the sausage at least?
Yeah, I had beef sausage.
So sausage, but no pancakes.
No, I had a pancake too. I lied.
Okay.
She didn't take it.
I was about to say, I didn't really take you as a pancake guy.
I'll eat whatever you put in front of me if I can hold it.
I have no idea what that means other than you don't like pancakes, but there's got to be like some deeper meaning.
He orders pancakes at the restaurant half the time.
See, every time I've went with y'all, it's always just bacon.
I always order bacon. I don't know where she got that.
When you go to
she's having a
Denny's
fever
or
dream.
IHOP,
Yeah, it's fever.
You've gotten.
I started feeling like this tingling in my throat, and I figured it was because it's that illness that's going around that you catch immediately when you're next to somebody who's sick. And thanks a lot, Kaye. Just kidding.
He's always sick.
Yeah, well, hey.
Kyle said if they had a number, like to remind you, he said they'd forget the number to call. So
Wow.
there you go.
I'll have you know that I graduated 7th in my class.
Did you really?
And somebody told me I was in the running for valedictorian, and I deliberately started slacking off because I didn't want to have to give a speech in front of everybody.
What's the main? Valedictorian is the top, and salad is it?
Salutatorian.
Almost said
Salutatorian.
salutatorian.
Mm-hmm.
What's the third? Just nothing.
Third
You didn't
place.
get there.
You didn't get there. Well, nowadays
You're not first, you're last.
Well, nowadays it's probably like if you're in a class of 600, 1 through 600 is probably recognized as something. They come up with these terms for every number now,
well,
probably,
this-
so no one feels left out.
This was back in 1977.
I was looking here. Oh, you know, in the 70s there was a term. I was talking about this yesterday. If you have Sirius XM radio, by accident, I just bumped it one day. I normally listen to the Spirit Radio app that we run, but by accident, I was on Sirius XM the other day, and I bumped the knob, and it went back a couple. And it starts out at 0, which is the preview channel.
Right.
Well, when I bumped it, it actually went back one notch. It went back to like 4, I think it's 420. And guess who's on that channel? The very last channel on Sirius XM, or the first if you go to the left. Billy Graham.
Oh.
I was like, this is cool. And they're replaying all of his sermons. Probably heard the one. I didn't even know he came to Fargo in North Dakota in the 80s. It was a huge deal. I think there were 70,000 people showed up to that. Luckily, it was in the middle of winter. Or maybe there would have only been 7. But there was a sermon that I was listening to yesterday morning on the way to HLI. And this was in the 70s. And he was talking about terminology that young people use. Now, anyone out there this morning that has used this term, let me know, because I've never heard anybody say it. Hanging loose. Did you ever hear that term?
Yeah.
Hanging loose. And in his, I never heard of it. I've never heard of hanging loose. Weren't we talking about this yesterday in the car? And see, I remembered that, Kaye. I do remember bits and pieces of things. And that was the term back then. But in his sermon, he was saying, you know, but that may be a term that's, I don't hear it as much as I used to. I was like, man, this was in the 70s. This was going back. But hanging loose.
Hang loose.
Hang
Means
loose.
Just be cool.
Hang loose. And it was talking about, he was talking about education. And this was so crazy because yesterday was Education Day, right? We should have played the sermon. He hit it spot on. He said that there are so many people nowadays in the 70s, and it's even happening now, that try to experiment with the educational system to see what works best when we already know what works best. Montessori works, scientifically proven works. It's what's best for the child. All right, so
What are you whispering, Rob?
I'm
It's not a secret.
He's trying to subliminal.
Yeah, I'm subliminally going through the camera today.
Okay. So
But
I thought you were throwing in some sesquipedalian personal touch.
It was salutatorian type chat here this morning. But he said that in the 70s, he goes, you know, the educational system is failing our country. And he said there are so many young people that are trying to get into college nowadays, and the colleges aren't accepting them because the kids don't know how to read. This was in the 70s. Mm-hmm. Now, whenever he said they don't know how to read, I'm sure they know how to read. They knew how to read some, but they didn't know how to read at a level that would get you into college. And he said, you know, it's because our education system keeps experimenting with different ways to teaching children. And he goes, can we just get, and he had that really cool accent. He had the North Carolina Southern accent. Like it was a little bit of North Carolina and then somehow some Florida, whatever the Florida dialect got. It was a very unique voice. And he was like, can we just get back to the reading, writing, and arithmetic? And everyone started cheering. And I thought about that, Kaye. Can we just get back to that these days? Can we just get back to the basics? Because children nowadays are learning all this math stuff that I don't even like. Adding 1 + 1, they go through like 40 different avenues to get there. I'm like, dude, when I was a child, 1 cough drop. Well, I'm going to drop it. 1 cough drop plus 1 cough drop. Guess how many cough drops? 2. I don't need to go through this huge process to teach you how I got to 2. And I've seen children nowadays, Kaye, and I'll let you butt in on this because I know you've got some things to say, which are great things to say. But why do we have to go? Why is the education system? It's like they're trying to make things so hard for children now to learn.
I think they ought to start teaching life skills at some point. How to write a check, how to take care of your home, things like that.
I mean, do people get feedback from the community? And I'm not knocking any education system, but I'm asking, like, legitimately, does the educators or whoever comes up with all this stuff, do they go to moms and dads and say, what would you like your children to learn? Do they go to the general public, to the business community, and say, what are young people lacking? Many of them would say just what you said, Rick. Okay? Take it away, all right? I know you got some things to add to this, and I want to hear your thoughts.
It's a big mess, and it has been for a very, very long time. Different school districts are doing different things, and so you can't just put everybody in the same bucket. Mm-hmm. And so some of the school districts do listen to the parents, but then you've got the state curriculum that says you've got to do the testing, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to make sure the teachers are accountable, and some of the testing and things like that doesn't accurately tell what a child knows.
Yeah.
It's a snapshot of that particular moment of whether the kid's in the mood to take the test or not.
I think it was like Dr. Shepard hit the nail on the head yesterday. Remember how he was at the lunch yesterday? And Dr. Shepard, with our local school district, has done a phenomenal job. He's worked really, really hard over these last 3 years to really, help raise up Huntsville ISD. But I like what he said, because he goes, if your school gets this rating, he's like, that's not fair to every child that goes to that school, And you're right. And I like the Montessori method because it takes on what's best for the child. And I can say this as a parent who has a child at a Montessori school, Tomorrow's Promise. I walked through it yesterday. And those children, Kaye, it was unbelievable, the interaction that they had with the teachers, and not just with the teachers, but with each other. We're talking like, how old were those children? Like 3, 4?
3 and 4.
3 and 4 having these intellectual conversations when children normally at that age, outside of, and I'm not knocking any other place, but they just be sitting there getting brain sugar off of a TV show. These children are learning countries. The teacher was asking, like, where do you think Madagascar is? And little Tommy's raising his hand, and he says, New Zealand. And she's like, that's close, but not there. But they're learning, And that's the cool thing. Now, was that the situation? No, that really wasn't it. He didn't. Little Tommy didn't raise his hand and say New Zealand. Rick's looking at me like, we don't teach them that like that. Sorry, Rick. But I mean, it really is neat to see that kind of interaction, Kaye. And it's what's best for the child.
Yeah.
Not what's best for what the state says is what's best for the children. It's what's best for the specific child.
Yeah. And, I mean, truly, the very first teachers are the parents. And so in order for any education system to succeed, the parents have got to be willing to help.
Yeah.
We've had children come to school that haven't had baths and come with dirty hair or something like that. We have to kind of teach the parents kind of what the child needs. We've had children dropped off with dirty diapers on that we sent them home. The diapers are labeled for each child, and they've arrived the next morning in the same diaper we sent them home in. And so, you have to teach some of those parents how to be parents and help them along the way. Because having a child doesn't come with an instruction manual.
No.
Your TV does, your car does. I mean, nobody reads it except Rick.
That's what I always see Rick in the parking lot every morning for like 30 minutes. How do I turn this thing off again?
But ideally, that's what we're here to help parents, become better parents and do what's best for their child. But we have parents, I mean, if you go talk to Dave Smith over at Good Shepherd Mission, there are parents that they don't know how to read, so how are they going to help their child?
Exactly, yeah.
And so, the community has to come together and help everybody get to a certain point. These children that are going to school, and there's an 18-month difference, they've never seen a book in their life, and ones that are going to school already reading, you can't expect the teacher to fix all that. You've got to have the support somewhere That's why we do the books, of getting the books in the home and things like that, so the children will have an equal footing to start on as best as possible. When it comes to the educational system and things like that, yes, there's gotten to be a whole lot more. The new math and things like that is not working. I think we went back to the old math now in traditional schools.
Thank goodness, because I was like, oh, whoa, I don't want to deal with that when my children get them.
At least I hope so. It's sad. I mean, there's an agenda from some states and different states are doing different rules and different regulations, and there's an agenda from coming down sometimes from Washington as to what we're teaching our children. And sometimes free isn't always the best.
Yeah.
But sometimes at the local level, the people have to get involved and state what they want. I mean, that's what happened when COVID hit and all these parents were now suddenly seeing what their children were learning, by Zoom. And there started a whole uproar in the education system as to what they're teaching my child.
I'm not a fan of, how things have transpired. And I used to say this, and boy, do I regret saying this. I remember before I had my children, and this was, even long before Bridget and I were even a thing, before we even knew each other. I remember saying, I'd never want to have children grow up in this world. I wouldn't want to put them through that. And now that I've had children, I'm so thankful that I've had children. And because, any time in history, I think people could say, I don't want to have children right now.
Well, they have.
Yeah, and then obviously they have. We wouldn't be here.
No, people have said that for many years.
Yeah.
Society's crumbling and there's no, I wouldn't want to bring my children into this world and everything. It's what you teach your children.
And that's where I was getting at. I'm not going to allow, my children aren't going to be sheltered from the world. I want them to know about the world. But I'm also going to do my hardest as a parent to protect my children. Number one, to share the gospel with them. Braylon and I already do the Lord's Prayer, and the acceptance prayer, the prayer of salvation. And we do that quite frequently. And
record it.
And one day she's gonna finally ask me, what does this mean, Daddy? And at that point, this is why we've been saying this. And then she intellectually is going to make that decision.
But you need to make a recording of it.
So she can go back.
My youngest said it when he was 2, and it was so cute. And I wish I had a recording of it now because the way he said it was just so cute.
Yeah, but it really. And I'm not knocking. Look, I've got a lot to learn. I'm 0.02%, parent, but I have a lot to learn, and all parents have a lot to learn. And I think as a parent,
no, I don't.
Except Rick over here, who has to read the manual on how to turn off his car. But in all seriousness, I think as a parent, the number one thing is to like anything in life, but especially as a parent, is to remain teachable and to really understand that your children latch on to everything you say. And, I've been kind of bummed out lately, honestly. I know I'm upbeat and energetic on this show, but I've just gotten to this, I don't say it in a negative way, but maybe someone can relate, and that's why I'm saying this. I feel like I've gotten into this, mundane, I don't know, I don't want to say ritual, but this mundane, what do you call it? The order
treadmill?
Of things. It's just this routine, I guess is the word. This mundane routine of okay, I'm going to get up at this time. I'm going to wake up the children. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to get them ready. And then I'm going to go to work. And then and I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. But over the past few months, it's finally hit me. And last night I was telling Bridget, I was just something's got to change. There has to be something. Routines are great, but there also has to be that time for self-reflection. One is, if you're a believer, you need to be digging in the Word every day and reading God's Word. But also you need to have something to do to get out every day and enjoy the creation of being outside. And I think for us, it was just you get in this routine of, we got to do this, and we go to work, and then we do this. It's okay, well, I need to also take care of myself, and Bridget needs to take care of herself, and our children need to take care of themselves in a way, too.
When was the last time you had date night and you didn't mention the children?
Whenever we did the other night, whenever y'all had the open house, and that broke that mundane thing. It was great. We enjoyed it. Went to a movie. The movie was terrible.
And you didn't mention the children?
No, didn't mention them. Not until we started driving back. Like once, because we're like, poor Braylon's been over there like 16 hours. Poor little thing. She was so, not because of y'all. It's just like she was so tired. And y'all, your girls did such an awesome job with her. But that little toot, she was just tired because she'd been over there. I get her. She gets up 5 a.m.
Yeah.
We didn't pick her up till like
and that
10.
broke her routine of doing something different.
But that was good. That was a break, and and you're so right. And that's where I was getting at is like find something. Like we're working on organizing basketball, maybe 1 or 2 days a week. And that's
I saw
something
that
to take
post.
care of yourself.
I almost posted that I was too short.
I was hoping you'd be there just to pass out water.
I'd be the water ball.
Yeah.
When you said hoping he'd be there to pass out, I was like, yeah, he'd probably pass out. If he was
halfway down the court, just flop over.
But that's why I brought all this up is like, I've came to the realization, I miss I'll be honest, I miss broadcast. I love doing this every morning. I love highlighting our community, but I miss broadcasting kids. That's what I did for 15 years straight almost, it seems. And so, I'm thankful to broadcast the kids at New Waverly and highlight those kids. And so, and I think that's a lot of what it is because we've been in this season. Like you go from football to basketball to baseball, and I didn't get to do a whole lot of basketball like I was hoping for. But now baseball's on the horizon, and I was telling Bridget like yesterday, like I need to get back into doing that because that's like my thing that I do. And one day when my children are old enough, I want them to come and help me. I think it'd be fun for them, and they would enjoy that. And so just find something. If you feel like me and you got into this, it's not like a bad thing. It's good. I'm happy. I'm thankful. I'm blessed. But you do need those things to do once in a while to kind of change stuff up because I feel like if you just get into this same routine, it's like people who are so focused on routine, like you got to throw in something once in a while that's off the wall.
I go to work. I have no idea what I might be doing that day. I honestly don't. Might be giving potty breaks or sitting at the desk somewhere holding it down. Or
fixing my computer because I touched it.
It's kind of like when I look at these, and I'm not knocking this because I'm a big believer in people have different strengths for a reason, and there's strength binders and all that, but there's some people that are so heavily focused on those tests that it's like now they look at the results of the test versus just looking at the person. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but if you take one of those tests and you get the results of it, I found myself doing that. I would start like in our HLI class, perfect example. I'd start, instead of like looking at the person, I'd be like, oh, I remember their result was this and their result was this. And I was like, no, I just want to go sit down and have lunch with them. Then I can learn more about them. And then you can factor in those qualities that those tests reveal and treat it that way. It's kind of like a bank when you walk in. Are you walking into a big bank that treats you as a number? They treat you like a person, and so just little things that I had on my mind today that I have no idea.
Yeah, you were
what I'm gonna
speaking
share.
of tests. Have you seen that test about stressors in your life? There's tests. It's like Christmas is 5 points, and getting a divorce is 50 points, and getting married is so many points, and
1,000.
having a child is so many points, and
getting
moving.
divorced more points than getting married.
I don't know. Probably. That word isn't that word will never cross our table. So.
But there's a
I've been
point.
divorced.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah,
It really is. I cried
I'm not
for
making light of that.
20, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a point system of how many stressors you've had in the last year. And if you think back on how many stressors you've had in the last year, you might want to go look that up, and you're hitting a high number with the number of things that's happened in your life in the last year.
You're right. I told Britt, we've been through so many life changes just in 3 years. Like you're on this course, right, of like, this is where I'm going. And it's a lot. It is. And it's a lot for anybody. I mean, even if there was 2 or 3 things that changed, we moved 5 times in 3 years. I mean, that was enough right there.
Well, that's a
stressor, too.
It's a stress test kind of thing of like how susceptible you might be to an illness kind of thing because of all these stressors that you're
Probably why I've
affecting.
been sick every month.
Could be why.
But that last time we moved, the time coming back was the most joyful move because we were like coming back. We're like, yes, we get to come
We're
back.
glad you're back.
But the fourth move.
I missed you while you were gone, just so you know.
The fourth move was bad. Like, I literally thought I was going to burn the house down before we got out of there. Bridget was like, we just need to get out. I was like, yeah, we need to get out of here. It was just super stressful. I don't know what it was about that move. Moving from here all the way up north was so stressful. And
Probably because you knew in your deep gut of your heart that you weren't supposed to go.
Yeah, like we felt this pull of like, don't go, but we had to. There was no way. There was, with God, there's always a way, but it was one of those things too, and I won't go into, but it's like, God pulls you away for a season for you to reevaluate. And, if you would have asked me, I thought we would have been gone for 5-10 years. And then my plan was, all right, we're going to go to this next level. Financially, it'll support our family, but then it's going to lead to better opportunities, the NFL or NBA. That was always my dream. Like, I wanted to be in the NFL or the NBA. That was what I'd worked my life off for. And then I realized real quick that God had a different plan, and that's okay. And the trouble is when you fight that plan, it never works out. And some people may be wondering this morning or watching, saying, "Well, how do you know how do you know that you're struggling with that?" Or you'll know, you feel it in your heart, like you feel the tension and the pull and the drain. And for us, it just, I don't know. It's like Coach Richmond used to tell me. I learned so much from basketball coaches. Coach Hooten told me a lot when he was here at Sam, and Coach Richmond up at NDSU taught me a lot. And he would always say, "Well, I think," and then he'd always change. He goes, "It's not that I think." He goes, "I know that I know." And when you get to that point, that's like, you know that you know. You've been there. Have you ever had something that you know that, like Academy? You knew that you knew. God put that in your heart, so you knew that you knew. That was Him telling you, but you knew that you knew.
And I knew the location when I saw the location. I knew. And if anybody had told me when I was 14, 15, even probably 20 years old that this is what I'd be going to do for the rest of my life, I would have laughed at them.
I would have too.
And said, "You've got to be crazy."
Okay, Rick did probably laugh a little bit. Were you doing this when y'all got married? Were you already involved in this, Kaye?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you were already in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said many times I did not marry her. I married a school.
I've been in education since probably 90, 89, something like that.
Back before 92 and 93, when nobody gave a flip about Warren G. That's a rap song, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Can you tell I don't do a lot of rap?
Yeah.
And then moving to Huntsville, within a year moving to Huntsville, opened school. So
I like what Mayor's telling us this morning. Too blessed to be stressed, and I think that's it. And we all need to get back to the root of that. Maybe maybe that's. Go ahead, Rick. Sorry.
I want you people out there to know what a cool mayor we have. If you've never talked to Russell, you should.
And all you got, come join us at Rotary Wednesdays at noon. It's always a great guy. I don't think I'm going to be there again today. Michelle's already about to walk out. She's like, "Great, I thought we were going to Rotary today."
Michelle, you can go to Rotary with me.
No, we.
And Russell, you've been standing us up on trivia night, so
he's a mayor. He's got stuff to do.
Trivia nights. What time do y'all get out of there? Like 9 on Mondays? 9:30?
8:30.
8:30?
Yeah.
I felt like we left at 9 one night.
Well, maybe you were taking a long time to answer the question.
Probably, yeah. I told Karen quit being so nice to us. Well, let's take a break. We're going to get some of these comments coming in. I know we've been on quite a bit this morning without taking a break. Keyword, cats.
Meow. Meow.
Keyword, cats.
Meow.
I'm just trying to get Rick to meow. We did that in honor of the Huntsville Cat Project on Monday. And so keyword this week is cats. I've got a $30 gift card to Cafe Texan.
What?
Going your way today.
Wow.
Good thing you took the screen off to see not see the evil stink eye.
She's looking daggers at you, buddy.
Look at that cute little cat, though. You see that guy? Little kitty.
I see him.
Keyword cats. Text that in along with your name. CATS. Don't put space. Someone put spaces between it yesterday. Our system won't pick that up. You have to put cats all together. Text in the keyword cats along with your name on the Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line at 936-339-0139. We've got a $30 gift card and a swag bag to Cafe Texan coming your way. As always, our show's on a wonderful Wednesday, brought to you by Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, 25-plus years of educational excellence here in our community. We'll have a word on our national news and our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. More to come here. It's your show. Good morning, Huntsville.
USA News, I'm Ryan Daniels. President Biden's brother James Biden will testify before lawmakers as part of the Republican-led impeachment inquiry into the president. James Biden set to undergo a deposition with members of the House Oversight Committee Wednesday. The inquiry is expected to center on 2 loans President Biden extended to his brother, along with other business transactions James Biden engaged in alongside his nephew Hunter, who is set to testify on February 28th. More economic sanctions are being placed against Russia following the passing of opposition figure Alexei Navalny.
I told you we'd be announcing sanctions on Russia. We'll have a major package announced on Friday.
President Biden says the sanctions aim to hold Russia responsible for Navalny's death and for its actions during the conflict in Ukraine. Russia is reportedly holding a California woman hostage under charges of treason in Russia. The woman holds dual citizenship in both the U.S. and Russia, but she lives part-time in the Los Angeles area. Russian authorities allege the 33-year-old raised funds in support of Ukraine. Nikki Haley is pledging to remain in the 2024 presidential race, affirming her commitment during a campaign event in her home state Tuesday.
I'm willing to take the cuts, the bruises, and the name calling, because the only way you get to the blessing is by going through the pain.
Despite trailing former President Trump by a big margin in polls leading up to Saturday's South Carolina primary, she's dismissed calls for her to withdraw from the race. The planned merger of several major TV streaming platforms is now being challenged in a new lawsuit filed in New York by Fubo TV. The company is suing Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers, alleging a long history of anti-competitive practices. Fubo TV says if those companies are allowed to enter the live sports streaming business, it will kill the competition. This is USA News.
Doug Steffen here, calling all travelers. How many of you have ever been to Las Vegas? How many of you would love to go to Las Vegas? How about going to Las Vegas 2 nights free? I have your attention, so right now be one of the first 10 callers right this minute to call 800-419-3684. 2 free nights in Las Vegas. That's it. First 10 callers, get on board. 2 free nights in Las Vegas. It's the easiest thing ever, right? First 10 callers to call 800-419-DOUG. And 2 nights in fabulous Las Vegas is yours. No questions. You don't need to be caller 29. You can be in the first group of 10 or a dozen, and you're on board. 800-419-DOUG. 800-419-3684. We've traveled the world to find a good deal. You've got it now with 541 Travels and the Doug Steffen Good Day program. 800-419-DOUG.
Have you heard of Google, Amazon, or Wikipedia? Their founders were all Montessori students. Montessori is the only educational method developed by a doctor using the scientific method for what was best for the child. Come check out our award-winning childcare schools at Tomorrow's Promise. Did you know that 90% of brain development happens the first 5 years of life? Early childhood education is the most important time of life. Come find out what makes us different and why we are now adding a 3rd location. Visit tpms.life for more information. Education you can trust.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Hey friends, Rob Hip here. As a guy, jewelry's not really my thing. I never know what I'm looking for. I feel uncomfortable, and I just don't understand how certain things look good together. But that's why I depend on Elliot Herzlich at Elliot's Jewelers. Whenever Bridget and I wanted to get engaged, we said, we need to go to a place to where someone's going to take care of us. They're going to make me feel comfortable as a guy, but they're also going to take care of her needs as well. So I went into Elliot's, and he was so gracious and compassionate with my understanding, and I wanted something that looked a little masculine for my engagement band, and he said, I've got the perfect thing for you. And he found some white hammered gold that was trimmed in 14 karat gold, also put a diamond on that ring to signify my love for Bridget, and as we grow and our family grows, we can put a diamond around the rest of those. So friends, if you're looking for someone that is dedicated to customer service, that understands the needs of people and does what's right all the time, there's nobody better than my friend. It's Elliot Herzlich at Elliot's Jewelers. Visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
All right, Huntsville, back at it here. Keyword cats, not with a K. I should have probably put a K, I guess. May get in trouble.
Then it'd be the Bearcats.
Well, I may get and I can't do that. I may get in trouble for like infringing on branding or something if I put that. I don't understand. I'm not going to get it. I just don't understand that. You know, someone told me that I wanted to have a podcast called like Behind the Bearcats, and I was told I couldn't use that name. And I'm sitting there thinking about like, okay, there's Bearcat Bell Bonds, there's Bearcat Movers, there's Bearcat this, that. And then in Austin, there's like 100 Longhorn companies that have the same maroon color for their business. Longhorn Movers, Longhorn Delivery, Longhorn Bell Bond. So I didn't get into it. I was just like, okay, whatever. So cats with a C it is, not with a K.
That's right.
This morning, it's kitty cats. Meow. This is what we wanted to go for anyways. Here's the thing. Does a Bearcat roar? Does a bear? Michelle and I were talking about this. Michelle's a Bearcat. I'm a Bearcat by proxy.
There's not an actual animal that's a Bearcat.
I know, it's like a mythological.
Hey, you did that well.
Mythological animal.
That's a big word too.
Yes, mythological. But with the C it's real, but not with the K. The K is fake. It's a mythological. It's on Sam Houston. Did you know they used to have a goat back in the day?
No,
Sam
I didn't.
Houston? And did you know who it was named after?
Who?
The great Cooter Roberson.
Really?
They named the goat Cooter. Can we please get back to those days?
Sure.
Please. Cooter, please. I want to get Cooter on this show.
Why don't you?
He just doesn't. He's not up for it yet. One day, I'm hoping and praying that he'll get on here. I think he goes, man, I don't know if I want to get that water's already under the bridge. He's like, I don't want that thing to get back above. I don't want that to get back over the bridge anymore. But I would love to get him on here.
I think that'd be great.
You know, I love Cooter. I think the world of him. He's a good man. He and I try to go out to eat once in a while. You know, Steve Ricks hooked that up back in the day, and
yeah, he could just come on and just talk about his career.
He knows the history of everything in this community. And my favorite thing
you
to do...
You need to go start recording that stuff.
I'd just love to have, like, you know, Cooter's Corner and have him come on the show once a month. Let's have Cooter's Corner, man. But my favorite thing to do is just go. I don't even like to talk. You know me, I talk a lot. But whenever I get around a guy like Cooter, I just zip it and I let him talk. And I love hearing his stories.
Yeah.
It's just, people like that are so tremendous. And, boy, someone years ago when I broadcast him go, oh, you're the voice. I said, I'm not the voice. I said, Cooter Roberson will forever, ever, as long as I'm alive here, in my mind and many people in this community, he's the voice of Huntsville and always will be. I mean, I just love the way he talks. I love his stories. And he's a tremendous man. I know a lot of folks in this community just admire him, and I do too. So we are back here. Welcome back in, episode 217. Is that right, Rick? Can we remember things today? No. Yes, 217. I did good.
Yeah, you did fine.
217 today, here with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools as we are. Time now is 8:24. We're going to be on for about another 10 minutes or so. And I love, you know, Russell. I didn't know Leroy, and Russell just said in Leroy. I never got to know Leroy. Now, I knew his son a little bit. But I know that Leroy was a tremendous man as well. In fact, I'll never forget his son had messaged me on Twitter when we first came here, and it teared me up because he told me, he goes, I know you're coming into a tough situation. And I didn't know about any of that really until we got here. I was like, whoa, man, pitchforks are coming at me. Somebody said, who's this kid from Austin coming in? I was like, I'm not from Austin, man. I'm from Georgetown. It's a whole different ball game. At least then it was. But his son messaged me and said, he's like, just ignore all the noise. He goes, I would want you to know my daddy would be very proud of you. And that like teared me up because I had learned about Leroy and the stature and the man that he was here in Huntsville. And those are just two tremendous men. I wish I would have, got to know Leroy before he had passed, but unfortunately never did get to know him. But I know he lives on through the stories. And so appreciate that, Russell. But anyways, yeah, we're here. Tomorrow's Promise. Big shout out for being here with us every Wednesday on episode 217. Big thanks to Elliot Herzlich as well. By the way, we're going to update the thermometer for CASA. The Heart for CASA campaign is going extremely well. We still have a little bit more to reach. I think we're halfway to our goal of $2,500 now. I think the last I looked, we had almost 30 donations come in for that, and we're very thankful for the community and for Elliot's Jewelers for coming up with this idea to help out CASA through Hello Huntsville. So we'll publish some updates on that today. That's on Michelle and I's to-do list. We got a whole. That's why we're probably going to miss a Rotary. Our to-do list is our to-do is through the wazoo right now. we got a lot that we got to do today. So. Anyways, been a fun one this morning. Kaye, I wanted to go back yesterday briefly. I know we talked. That's how we got into this whole talk about education. But it was so interesting yesterday to go out with all of these different, different places that we went around town. The high school had some really cool CTE programs that we got to check out. Those were awesome.
Actually, the high school, in the sense of taking a child's interest and teaching what they're interested in, what they think they want to do, that's very Montessori-ish. Mm-hmm. Is taking the child's interest and going with it.
That's a new verb that we're coming up with here on the show. It's Montessori-ish.
I think I'm going to start coming up with the Wednesday word.
Wednesday word? Mm-hmm. What would it be today, Rick?
Today, you're going to go home and ask Bridget if she wants to osculate.
Osculate? Like a fan? Like oscillate?
No, osculate.
Osculate? Almost sounds like something about a child or something. I was like, we already have two.
I did not know this word, and we met on Match.com, and he had that he was a study or a PhD in osculation. What was it?
I don't remember. That was 20 years ago.
Osculate?
Yeah.
Osculate.
Oh. He was a professor of it or something.
Do you want the mathematical version or the formal or humorous version of the word?
The humorous version.
That means to kiss.
Right.
Yeah. The other one means the curve of a surface to touch has to have a common tangent at the point of contact.
That's right.
Well,
would you like to osculate, baby?
Well, I guess you could use that in mathematical terms. Mathematical terms as far as kissing, because there are some curves in the lip.
Yeah, there you go.
That's probably where it came from.
Hey, by the way, let's get to some of these comments real quick. We have had a lot of fun. We have a spammer with us again this morning. That's great. Lisa Roberts over at Learning RX. Good morning, Lisa. Kyle Kreiner joining us. Bree Johnson all the way up in Minnesota. Still hanging out with us. We miss you guys, Bree. Good to see you this morning. Kathy Schweitzer, one of our HISD trustees, had lunch with Kathy yesterday. Boy, that was a good meal, wasn't it?
It was.
From the Buzzy's Lunchbox. See, I remembered that. It's working. Buzzy's Lunchbox is
Did the students cook it for you?
Culinary CTE program.
I remember that. That was good.
And his name was Josiah. I remembered his name.
Wow.
His name was Josiah. He was the restaurant manager. You could tell. He had a little table. He had a little pad. He had everybody's tables. It was awesome, man. So that was cool, Kathy. Good to see you on this morning. Steph Valley over at Magnolia Kennel. Positive day at the kennel. Mm-hmm. She always says
PAWS.
Positive day today. Jason Thompson joining us from Guardian Defense. Good morning to you, Jason. My sister, Rebecca, who was in town this past weekend. Love you, sis. She's here saying good morning, Huntsville. She cracked the code, by the way, on the... You ever been to Chewy's Mexican restaurant?
Mm-mm.
You never been?
No.
Michelle? Never been? Unbelievable. I guess it's an Austin thing.
Probably.
They have one, though, I think, in Conroe.
That's a long way to go to eat.
Chewy's. They have this world-famous jalapeno ranch sauce, and my sister cracked the code on how to make it. She makes it better than Chewy's, and it's for your chips. It's a dip. It's better than your regular salsa. It's jalapeno ranch. Thank you, Rebecca, for breaking this. Sorry, Chewy's. If you want to come sue us, come sue us. It's fine. Paul Oley of the gallery joining us. Good morning, Paul. Hey, Paul.
We love you, Paul.
We love you, Paul.
Love you, Paul. It's good to see you this morning.
You have a picture you need to take to Paul.
You have one?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to have a picture of Paul right behind us just so he can hang out with us sometime.
You put a little set of lips on it?
Yeah, just have him right there next to us, yeah.
The one Susan painted.
Well, you got to take it to Paul. Oh, frame it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So good morning to you. Good morning, Jamie Salas over at Osprey Storage. Our good friend Clay Talsworth over at 0 Degree freeze-dried candy. I was thinking of Clay this morning. He's on with us. Janet Davidson from CASA. Good morning, Janet. So great to see you on this morning, my friend. And Janet, by the way, had a comment here for you, Rick. She said, Sesquipedalian.
Sesquipedalian.
How do you
Using
say?
words with many syllables.
How do you say it?
Sesquipedalian.
Sesquipedalian?
Yeah.
And that means choosing words with many syllables?
That means words with many syllables.
Sesquipedalian. My voice, my throat, did you hear that through the microphone? It was like my stomach was gurgling from the Sprite, and it was like right here. Did you hear that?
Oh, you know what we need to do?
Besides
I know what we
sesquipedalian?
need to do next Wednesday.
What is this?
People need to send in words and see if Rick knows what they are.
Are you good at this kind of stuff, Rick?
No.
What does ambidextrous mean?
Mean ambidextrous? Where you can use either hand pretty well?
No, ambidextrous.
That's a new word to me. I don't know that one.
What did you say? How do you say it?
Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous?
Yeah.
Ambidextrous?
Yeah, you can use both hands.
People come up with these words. Why don't you just say use both hands? See, I guess that's where the English gets lazy, though.
Well,
No.
a lot of
I
our
was
words.
born left-handed.
But you can you write right-handed?
His mother made him.
My mother thought I was stupid. Kept slapping my left hand until I used my right.
I knew there was something going on.
Yeah.
But a lot of words are from Greek and Latin and other countries. And so you've got your prefixes and things like that mean certain things.
Rendezvous.
What about Igpe Attenley?
That would be Igpe Attenley.
Did I say that right?
Yes, you
Igpe
did.
Attenley? Is that Pig Latin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm not good at Pig Latin.
That's not even a real thing. Who started that up?
I don't know.
Some child that didn't want their teacher to know what they were saying and thought they would be smart.
Good morning, Grace Wakefield. Thanks for waking. You got the best name for the morning show. Grace, I have to ask you, please let me say this. Just please. Have you ever waken up in the middle of a field and then your name's Wakefield?
That's wrong.
Just like, no, I would. If that was my last name, I'd go to sleep in a field so I could say that my last name, I literally did that. I woke in a field, Wakefield. Case like, would you stop?
Your last name's Hip. You have a hip?
Got one, yeah.
There you go.
Do you have two hips or one hip?
You have two hips.
Two hips. That's why that song says hips don't lie, because it's not hip don't lie, it's hips.
We have two hips.
When I was in Fargo, the Beat radio, like the R&B station, we were in a cluster of radio stations in this building. Really awesome dude named Jesse was the DJ there. He's now in Salt Lake City for a country station. Used to be in San Antonio. Really, really great DJ. But he would always have fun with me. And then the country guys, they came up with this one. It wasn't Jesse, it was the country station. Bob FM came up with this. It was Hip Don't Lie. And so every week I would give a recap of the North Dakota football team, and I would also give a preview for the upcoming game. And they would play this Hip Don't Lie, and it was this song. Was that Shakira? Is that right? Michelle knows. She's into all that. She jams to Shakira on her way here. So that was a thing with Shakira. Anyways, good morning, Grace. Thanks for letting me joke with you.
Do you know that the songs that have melodies and things that you can hum stimulates the right side of your brain?
Is that why I go around humming? And I always hum all the time.
The music that has the heavy beat.
Do I really?
It has the heavy beat and the kind of the screaming kind of thing. That stimulates the left side of your brain.
The screamo. Rick, do you listen to that? Like headbanging screamo?
No. I hear a lot of humming in my head when I'm not actually humming.
I walk around humming all the time, and the first person to bring that to my attention was Elizabeth over at Cat Cafe. She told me once, she goes, Rob, you're always humming. I said, well, I'm sorry. She goes, no,
I don't know the words.
She goes, it's very pleasant. And I was like, oh, thank you. Michelle's over here shaking her head. She's like, it's not pleasant. I have to hang out with this guy Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and it's annoying. Tara Burnett over at Hart's Veterans Museum joining us as well. Good to see you. Russell was saying hip, hip, hooray. Come on, man. That's, I know it, Russell.
You've never heard that one before, have you, Rob?
And then maybe a new person here. Mandy joining us. Viteri joining us. Mandy, welcome in, saying good morning to Jason. I get choked up every time there's a new person on the show.
Really?
Good morning.
Thank you.
So a lot of good things happening here in our community. Stay up to date. HelloHuntsvilleTX.com. We'll have more events coming up. I know that there is some ribbon cuttings in the future. Michelle's working on those events, one of them in collaboration with Hart's Veterans Museum, and then the big one coming up, March the 5th. See, I had it, Rick. I was just confirming.
You were doing really good.
At
now
4 p.m.
Dropped fingers.
See that?
At 4.
See,
The 5th at 4.
5th at 4. March the 5th at 4 p.m. What's that place called again? Tomorrow. Yesterday. Oh, Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. I remembered.
It's okay if I throw my phone at you.
As long as it hits me with the corner. We were talking about throwing stuff earlier. I won't say what, but I was like, that would hurt if you got hit by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tomorrow's Promise Montessori School, the Academy over off Veterans Memorial, having their grand opening ribbon cutting. Going to be a fun time. 4 o'clock on March the 5th. So make sure that you mark your calendars now. Kaye, can you give us a preview, maybe what's in store over there? Any type of preview?
I can tell you, there will not be any fireworks.
I thought you were going to say food, and I was like, not coming. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, truthfully, they're going to have a drink of some sort. I think it's going to be tea related, non-alcoholic, because we're a school.
Yeah, that would be. Hey, come on in. You want some wine?
And they're working up something that they're going to serve as a snack. I kind of delegated this because my dad's having a medical procedure on Monday. So Sunday night we're going to be leaving town and driving to Oklahoma because his procedure's at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then hopefully he will do okay and we'll come back Monday. But if not, we'll be driving in Tuesday and trying to arrive right before it starts. So I've had to kind of tell my team to say, I can't do it. You're going to have to plan it all and do it. So
well, that's all right. Well,
I have delegated.
And they haven't put us in a loop about what they're doing.
It's like, whatever. Okay,
well, truthfully, we haven't been around to ask them. Right?
Wait, now, is part of this team consists of Courtney?
Yeah.
Well, it's questionable on that one. So.
Courtney and Josie and Charlotte are.
Courtney's pretty detail oriented.
I give Courtney the hardest time over there. Charlotte, I don't mess with her. She's been there 20 plus years.
She might hurt you.
Yeah, Charlotte will knock you out. You don't mess with Charlotte. She may be a gentle soul with them children, but if you're an adult causing problems, Charlotte don't play.
Well,
come on.
Charlotte's going to be the director over Academy.
Oh,
and
really?
So all 3 locations will have a director that's been at Tomorrow's Promise for over 20 years.
Wow, that is awesome. Well, we're going to keep Braylon over. I already asked you. I said, please, can I keep my little girl where she's at? Because I know some people are moving just for convenience, but we just love the Ladybug house over there. And you know what's funny? Braylon knows that's her house, and she says Ladybugs now. I said, where are we going? She goes, Ladybugs. Like, how do you know this? Because it's Montessori. That's, I'm going to whisper it. It's Montessori. It works. Rick's like, why are you whispering? Because people latch on to it. If I was just talking normally, they wouldn't.
Why are you like this?
Rick, hi, how are you? Isn't that really awkward? Like if you're talking.
Really, really awkward.
It's very awkward.
That's actually a trick we use in the classroom because if you raise your voice, the children just get louder. But if you whisper, then they lower their voices to try to hear what you're saying.
Rick, do you want to get food sometime this week? Maybe at Tom Florey's buffet pizza.
I'm in.
All right, let's head over to
It's me twice.
Let's see what old Granny Mary's up to. Here we go. We're not calling Randolph. Rick, you want to take this phone call?
I could.
You're really good at them.
Yeah.
Whoever answers, say, what's up, babushka? Someone's not going to answer, and they're not going to win $30 to Cafe Texan, and they're going to regret it.
They missed out.
Not going to answer.
Hello.
Hello. Have you paid your taxes recently?
I have.
Good for you. What's up, babushka?
How are y'all this morning?
Rob's having a good time over here.
Oh, is this Brittany? It sounds like Brittany right on the phone.
It is Brittany.
What does babushka even mean? Brittany, if somebody called you babushka, what would you think that means? I have no idea. Sounds like
no clue.
Sounds like some creature off of Star Wars.
I think it's a Russian hat.
Yeah, it's a Russian hat. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it's Russian.
Yeah, babushka. Hey, what's up, Brittany? How you doing this morning? It's Brittany over at the Color Bar Tanning Salon, it sounds like.
I'm sorry. He made me do
I'm
that, Brittany.
Taking care of my sick baby. He's
Oh,
got a
no.
stomach bug.
Oh, no. Well, don't come to church Sunday. Keep him well, all right?
Well, I think he's better today because he actually ate this morning.
Okay. No, I know. I'm just kidding. Bring him to church if he's better. Those children need to be at church. That's the best place for them.
Oh, for sure.
They need to be at church
This thing
first.
has gone on way too long, though. He's been sick since last Thursday.
Oh no. Well, children need to be
I know.
they need to be at church first, Brittany, and then second, they need to be at tomorrow's promise. Hint, hint. So, how are things going? What have you been up to?
Nothing, just staying busy. A lot of people are coming in the store to get spray tans right now, getting ready for all their formal events and stuff. So, just staying busy, really.
If somebody
Work all the time.
does anybody ever come in and literally say I want to kind of look orange, like Bearcat orange?
No, they say I do not want to look orange. And you know what? They leave, and they are not orange.
I know at your place they're not, but the reason I brought this up is because I would love for Rick to come in there, and if you could spray him like a Bearcat orange, that would be awesome.
I'm not a Bearcat.
Yeah, I know, but could you do that though? Like if somebody legitimately wanted to look orange, could you do that?
I'm sure, but I don't have any of the orange, spray tan solutions.
They're going to start a trend here.
Yeah.
Maybe if I ask Dr. White, she'll make me an official Bearcat.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Brittany, congratulations. $30 to Cafe Texan. Have you been over there yet?
Oh, I have. I love that place.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll
Darn.
give it to Rick and Kay. Don't worry. No problem.
I'd take it in a heartbeat.
All right, Brittany. Well, hey, God bless you. Thanks for watching and interacting with us. Appreciate all you do at church too over at First Baptist. You and your family do such great work here in this community, and we appreciate you. Kay's got a final question for you.
What are you thankful for?
I feel like my answer is always the same. It's my community, everybody our little village here in Huntsville, I guess I should say.
There you go. It's the village of Huntsville.
Family that's not family that's become family.
That's right. What's that song like? We are family.
All my little sisters.
Bridget always says, all my brothers and sisters. I'm like, it's not how it goes, sweetheart, but that's okay.
Yeah, but that's how it is in Huntsville.
All right. Well, congratulations, Brittany. $30 Cafe Texan. We'll drop it off to you. So thanks for being part of the show.
Thank you.
All right. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
B-Dub. We should call her B-Dub. Brittany Wright. When you go to the Color Bar Tanning Salon, you're never wrong. You're always right with Brittany Wright. I'm sure
There
she's
you go.
probably heard that before. So, all right. Well, that'll wrap it up. Okay. What do you got for us today? You know what today is? Dub.
Well, you mentioned something.
Wednesday Wisdom.
Yeah, you mentioned
Dub.
something on break. And you were talking about Braylon and that she plays a lot by herself.
Oh, yes.
And that is developmentally normal. At 2 years old, they'll play side by side, but they're not into playing with each other yet. That usually happens around the age of 3, where they'll start actually interacting and playing with others.
See, I was worried about that because I said, and it's nothing on tomorrow's promises. When I go pick her up, she's kind of doing over there by herself on a little ladder or whatever. She's smiling. She's happy. But I was like, then I see all the other children. Well, it's because other children in that class some of them are 3 years old probably already. And
There's a couple in there.
so Kay she put my mind at rest today. I was a little bit nervous.
Normally 2-year-olds are like, that's mine.
Yeah.
And take the thing from each other. They haven't learned how to share yet or anything.
Do they make angry faces when they grab stuff like that? Like, give me this.
Sometimes the logical conclusion to that is, I'm going to bite you so that you'll let go of it.
Been bitten recently?
No. Do you have any scars on your arms or hands, Rick?
Yes.
Are you allowed to say what they're from?
Yeah.
I have a weird one.
See that one right there?
Yes.
That's from about a 5-foot-long iguana.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
You pet iguana or just some random one?
No.
You
Just walking in the street and iguana.
I never know with you. I mean, it could be one over here. Just Toledo Finance could have just jumped off the roof. And then when it bit you, holy Toledo!
That's actually a claw mark.
I have this one right here. You see that vein right there? Do you see that little mark? That's what's cool about when you get older. It just kind of blends in with all the other blemishes and all the other wrinkles. But there's a mark there. I was helping when I was 12 years old. I was helping the neighbor with his 4-wheeler. Every 12-year-old boy should have a pocket knife. I had a Swiss Army pocket knife. Proud to say. Wasn't a Boy Scout, but I had the knife. And I was trying to fix that chain on that four-wheeler, and I decided I'm just going to pull out my handy-dandy pocket knife. I couldn't get the little flathead screwdriver part to come out, so I said I'll just use a regular old knife on it.
Yeah.
And when I popped the chain, it not only popped the chain, it popped my hand and almost hit that vein. And
bled pretty good, didn't it?
It did. And my mom's a nurse, and I said, I need to go to the hospital and stitch this up. She goes, no, you don't. She pulled out something I didn't know existed. It was these little paper stitches. And I forget what they're called. But that's what they were. It was a paper stitch. And she just healed it up myself. Said, you're fine. One paper stitch.
Was it one of those steri strips?
Yep. It was like a steri strip. Paper stitch. Worked perfect. I was good to go. A little bit of gangrene here and there. Almost lost my hand. But other than that, I was okay.
See how long I've been married? I have a callus where my ring goes.
Ah. Does that come off? That looks like it's stuck.
Comes right off. Look at that.
Oh, okay. It's weird. Like this Bearcat ring, I can like right now it's kind of hard, but in the morning when it's cold, that thing goes right on. But as the day goes on and it warms up, it's hard to get it off and on. So
that looks like you could hurt somebody with it.
Yeah, that's that cubic zirconia right there.
Yeah, Michelle's saying, I think she's been on the receiving end.
I haven't, Michelle, I have not treated you that way. See, she goes, oh yeah, it definitely hurts. She's like, look at the scar on my forehead. This is why we're going to get the Michelle cam. It's coming soon, by the way.
Well, I can see she's got a mic over there.
Yeah, she's got a mic. Look, it doesn't plug in anything.
Put it in your ear and see if you can hear us.
It's like when you give your little brother the remote to play with.
Yeah.
Take the batteries out.
Yeah, I just wanted Michelle. Hello. All right, friends, that'll wrap it up. Kaye, before we go, any closing remarks? I so appreciate y'all being here today. Thank you. I know that we joke around and have a lot of fun, but a lot of serious things that we talked about today, and I hope that we've left someone a little more inspired today and lifted up. Anything from you?
Read to your child.
RTYC.
Yeah,
we're coming with that.
Read to your husband.
Yeah, RTYH. Do you read to each other? Or
Oh
not?
no, she never reads to me.
I do too.
Actually, she does. She reads the news to me occasionally.
Now, just before we go, if you could read a book to each other, what book would you read?
Dr.
Kaye?
Seuss.
Don't talk about that on the show.
Just because I knew you didn't like it.
No, seriously, what book would you read to Kaye, Rick?
The Bible.
Okay, well, that's easy. Outside of the Bible, what would you read?
What would you like me to read to you?
That's a good question. All right, that's your homework. Come back next week and tell me what you read.
We actually listen to audiobooks in the car going to the many places we go.
I'm listening to the NLT, New Living Translation, Chronological Bible right now on Audible.
Yeah, we're listening to Tarzan, like number 18, I think.
So if you're driving down 45 and you see a T-bird and Rick's hanging out the side going, then you know what he's doing. So. All right, Huntsville. Well, hey, we love you. We appreciate you so much. If there's anything we can do here through Hello Huntsville, I know that we promote the good in our community, but maybe you're going through something. You just need a resource. Please reach out to us and connect with us. I'm a member over at First Baptist. I know you guys are at University Heights, and we all have resources through our local churches that we can help you out. So feel free to reach out, and we'll be here to help you. Hey, we love you, Huntsville. Excited about tomorrow. We'll be on with our good friends from the Color Bar joining us, and we'll have more as we spread the good happening in our community. If you're a nonprofit, you'd like to be on the show, we'd love to have you on and highlight what you're doing and what your organization is doing. You can email us at hello@hellohuntsvilletx.com. We're already booking up a lot for next week. Have our friends from the VFW that'll be joining us again, and some new folks that will be here with us about some fundraising opportunities happening in town. We are continuing the Heart for CASA through the end of the month, so stay up to date on the website for that. Newsletter going out tomorrow, so you want to make sure that you subscribe at hellohuntsvilletx.com. Friends, that'll wrap it up today. We'll be back at it again 7:30 tomorrow morning. And as I end every broadcast, reminding you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody needs you. Good morning and God bless. We'll see you next time, Huntsville.